Hey guys, welcome to day 4. We've been revising and editing the past couple of weeks. Today we're going to be focusing on illustrations once again. We're going to be looking at the illustrations in the story that we read, The Three Hens and the Peacock. We read that yesterday and we talked about if that story scored a 7 on our rubric, okay, if it met all the requirements. So real quick, these are the different pictures, the different illustrations that we have. So now we're going to look real quick. We want to see what we can learn about the characters from the illustrations, the setting. What can you learn about the events and how the characters feel or respond to the events and what emotions they're feeling by looking at the image. How does the way the illustration is drawn help teach us a lesson or a message? And then if you like the illustration or not, because those things are all kind of important because you want the illustrations to be enjoyable for your audience, right? So they need to like them. So let's look back at our story that we read and let's just kind of have a little peek and see what we can learn about this story from the illustrations only. So right off the bat, when I look at the title page, you see there's a barn, there's cows, hens, there's a garden. So that kind of already gives us a little information on the setting. The setting is at a farm, right? Right here, we can look a little bit at the characters' faces. We see the box with the peacock falling off the truck, and then we can kind of look at the cows. They're staring at it. Chicken looks like she's running away. Dog's picked his head up. So they might be a little surprised, a little curious about what's happening. Now let's look at this peacock. We see an emotion on his face, right? His emotion is shock, surprise, he's disoriented. He doesn't know where he is. He starts shrieking because he's maybe a little nervous, right? He doesn't know what's going on. So we're learning a little bit about their emotions. The dog doesn't really look very bothered. Then when we look at his expression here, he looks pretty happy, right? He's enjoying all the attention that everybody's given him because he's so beautiful. See if we can learn anything else about our main characters. We see the hens back there. They don't necessarily look happy. We're not real sure what their emotion is yet, right? Now here we can look at the emotion of the hens. Do they look happy? No, they do not. They look kind of mad and upset, right? And remember, they were upset because they thought that they did all the work and the peacock got all the recognition. And here we go. Right here, the dog. Remember, the dog gave them a little bit of an idea to walk in each other's shoes and see how it was. So the hens liked that idea. They look very happy with that, and so does the peacock. He looks pretty happy too because you can look at their face. They look like they're smiling. So we know from just looking at the illustration, without even having to read the story, we know how they're feeling right now. Still feeling pretty good. We see the hens got all dressed up. I like that illustration with the hens and all their jewelry on, so that's one of the illustrations that I did enjoy. Now right here, their faces change, their emotions start to change, right? We can gather just off this that they're not really happy anymore. They're looking a little nervous. They're kind of, moving around, losing feathers. Then we look over here at the peacock. He's trying to squeeze in. He doesn't look like he's as happy as he was, right? And then here at the end, we see that the hens are starting to come away. They're starting to come back. We see the farmer and his wife. We don't really know a whole bunch off their expressions or what their emotions are in this picture. There's the hens. They're still looking a little dazed and confused, right? They were working hard. They realized that the peacock's job was a lot harder than they thought. Then at the end, we can look at the dog and we can tell he feels pretty satisfied right now. So just based off those things, when we look back and it shows us what it's asking, it says, what can you learn about the characters from the illustrations in the setting, right? We can learn how they're feeling, their emotions to different things. We can learn about what they feel like their job is to do, where they stay. We learned a lot about their emotions, though. How does the way the illustration is drawn help teach the message or the lesson? kind of shows them taking each other's jobs. So I think that that's a good way. It shows the Hinge trying to do the Peacock's job and the Peacock trying to do the Hinge job, and they can see that it just by the pictures you can see that it's not easy. Their facial expressions, how they were looking, kind of frowning and kind of like messy. All their jewelry was messed up, and the Peacock, he looked a little nervous and he couldn't fit in, and he tried to lay an egg but he couldn't because he's a peacock, right? So I feel like it showed that at the end that they really realized that each other both had hard jobs. Everybody had their role. So I feel like the illustrations did a good job of showing that. What do you guys think? And like I said, I liked the illustrations. I don't know if you guys did, but maybe you liked them, and why or why not. You can share that with your learning coach at home. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.